Hey boys and girls, what's up? Welcome back. We have another lesson on the 10 Commandments today. Can you believe it, guys? We are on commandment number 9. And how many commandments are there? There's 10, right? So after this one, we got one more commandment. I'm going to teach you guys today about commandment number 9. But of course, before we get to the lesson, before I tell you the story, before we find out what commandment number 9 is, we have 8 other commandments that we have to quickly go over, see if you guys remember them. All right, so commandment number 1, we have it here on the screen so you can see it. Read along with me. Commandment number 1 is put God first, right? Number 2 is worship God only. Number 3, don't misuse God's name. Got it, nice. Number 4, rest on the Sabbath. Yep. Number 5, obey your parents. Number 6, don't hurt anyone, right? Or don't murder anyone. Number 7, keep your promises. That's right. Wedding promises, a little bit more specifically. And number 8, the one that you guys learned last week. That's right. Don't steal. All right. So commandment number 9, you guys, you can see on the screen. Always tell the truth, or don't lie. So the story that I'm going to tell you guys today involves what happens when you lie. God does not want us to lie. So I'm going to tell you the story of 2 twins, 2 boys, 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. All right, do you guys remember this story? Kind of, a little bit? Well, let's go over it really quick. Jacob and Esau, they're brothers. Actually, they're twins. They were roughly born around the same time, but Esau came out a few seconds earlier, so by default, he's the older brother, right? Now, Esau was different from his younger brother, Jacob. Esau, he had red hair. He was very hairy, all right? Jacob was not. Not only that, they sounded different and they did different things. They were pretty different despite being twins. All right. So let me get to the story and let me tell you actually what happens and where the lie falls in this story. So their father, Isaac, was now a very old man. He couldn't see anymore, and he knew that it was, he was going to be, passing away because he was so old. However, he wanted to pass on the blessing to his son. And back in those days, the blessing would go to the oldest son. Esau was the oldest son. However, Jacob wanted that blessing for himself because the blessing was very important, right? Not only did you get the highest share of the money, the land, and the inheritance, but what made this blessing so special was that inside of it was God's promise to Abraham. Now, do you guys remember God's promise to Abraham way back in Genesis? Yeah, he told Abraham that you would be the father of many nations, right? He also promised him land, right? Canaan, the promised land. So this promise, this covenant, this blessing was very special, and Jacob wanted it. And I don't blame him because that's a pretty cool blessing. I mean, I would want it too if I was Jacob. So this is what happened. Isaac was getting old, and he calls Esau into the room and says, Esau, make me my favorite food, and then I'll give you the blessing. So Esau was like, all right, cool, no problem. Esau goes out. He goes hunting to go kill the animal, to prepare the food. And it takes him a little while to prepare it. Now, his mom, Rebecca, was outside of the room and she was listening in, and she heard that Isaac wanted to give the blessing to Esau. So she quickly goes and grabs Jacob and says, Jacob, look, your father's going to give Esau the blessing, but I want you to have the blessing. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to prepare your father's favorite food. I have some, spare ingredients and everything. I'm going to cook it really fast, make it nice and tasty. Your job is to go over to the sheep pen and get the wool and put it over your body so you'll be hairy like your brother. Then go into your brother's room, right? Open up his cabinet and closet and wear his clothes so that, you can smell like him. All right, then when you're ready, I'll give you the food. You go into, your father's room and you give him the food. Pretend you're Esau, all right, and then you'll have the blessing. And Jacob was like, that's a great plan. Let's do it. So, he pre-prepares. He puts the wool on. He puts the clothes on. His mom is chopping it up in the kitchen, making this great food. It smells really good. Tastes even better. Trust me, right? And they're ready. Rebecca hands Jacob the food, and Jacob goes inside his father's room. Hey, hey, Dad, it's me, Esau. I have your food. And, well, Isaac is a little surprised. He's like, wow, that was really quick. How did you prepare it so fast? And here's the first lie. Jacob said, let's see here. The Lord your God gave me success. Basically meant that, God helped me. I was able to find an animal really quick, and I was able to slay it, butcher it, barbecue it up, and cook it super fast. Here I am. Here's your food. Give me the blessing. Well, Isaac, remember, his eyes were going bad, but he could still hear pretty well. And he was like, wait a minute, hold on. You sound like Jacob, but you're saying you're Esau. He feels, his son is like, you're pretty hairy like him too. Are you sure you're Esau? And Jacob says, yes, of course. Well, Isaac, calls him closer, and he's able to smell now, the clothes, and that finally tips him off that, yes, this has to be Esau, because only Esau knows how to hunt and make this food, and, smells like him. He's wearing the clothes, and he's hairy, so it has to be Esau, right? Well, this is what happens. Jacob, you can see, dressed up as Esau, right? He has the wool, right? And you can see Isaac touch it. So, he feels, that hairiness. And it's like, okay, this has to be Esau. The clothes, right? And the food. This has to be Esau. So Isaac says, okay, this is great. Have a seat. Let me give you the blessing. And Isaac gives Jacob the blessing. Jacob tricked his dad, lied to his dad to get this blessing. Now, here's the end of the story, and this is the part that I want us to focus on. Esau comes back, right? He hunts the animal, prepares the food, barbecues it up, puts it on a plate, and he walks into his dad's room and says, hey, Dad, it's me, Esau. I have the food. You can give me the blessing. Man, it took a while, but I got it, just as I promised you, go and eat. And Isaac is like, wait, hold on. But you were here like a minute ago, and, you gave me the food, and I ate already. And I gave the blessing to, wait a minute. If you're Esau, then I must have given the blessing to Jacob, because, he dressed like you. He brought the food, and he smelled like you. He didn't sound like you though, but I gave it to him. And Esau was so upset. He was so upset that he ended up leaving. You see, boys and girls, when you lie to people, bad things happen, right? Jacob and Esau, they were brothers. They lived together. They loved each other. And because of a lie, both brothers were separated. Esau had to live somewhere else. And it took, the boys a really long time before they met up and talk to each other again. You see, your friendships, your relationships with your family, with your brothers, your sisters, even your friends can get destroyed because of a lie. Even if the lie is really small. God does not want us to lie. God does not like it when we lie, because it hurts ourselves, it hurts other people, it hurts and breaks those relationships. Right? God wants us to be honest, even if it's hard to do so, which is why God threw it into the 10 Commandments. God knew that honesty was important and that telling lies was really, really bad. All right, so boys and girls, I hope that you learn that lying is not good. Always be honest. Tell the truth, okay? Because God appreciates when you tell the truth, and trust me, your friends and your family, they want you to tell the truth. It's like the story of the boy who cried wolf, right? You guys remember that story? Really? Some of you have heard it, some of you guys haven't? Well, this is a story of a boy who wanted to, pretty much play a prank and said that there was a wolf that was eating the sheep. So everyone in the village runs over and they don't find the wolf there, but the boy is laughing like it's a joke. Well, the next time it happens, the boy really now sees a wolf, and the wolf is attacking the sheep, and he runs into the village and tells everyone, hey guys, look, there's a wolf, it's eating the sheep, it's not good, come and help me out. And the people didn't believe him anymore because he lied the first time. And the sheep, well, they were gone, and the boy was really sad. He got in a lot of trouble, because not only did he lie, but he didn't do his job, and people could not trust him anymore. And people will not trust you. People will not be your friend if you lie. So kids, practice honesty. Honesty is the best policy. I'm sure some of your parents have told you that. My dad tells me that all the time. All right. So boys and girls, next week we have commandment number 10, right? Because there's only 10 commandments, right? I tried to trick you with the 11th commandment there. There is no 11th commandment. There's only 10. You guys are going to learn about that next week. Also, just to remind you guys, we do have a virtual VBS. Miss Liz and the team have been working so hard to get it ready. We're going to have worship. We're going to have games. We're going to have craft. We're going to have a super cool Bible story. It's Western themed. So, man, I am so ready for this. It's going to be fun. So, parents, please make sure you sign up your kids. It's going to be great. It's 3 days only. It's first week of August. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. We're going to dive deep into God's word and see what God's going to tell us. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait to see you guys there. So until next week, guys, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you next week for commandment number 10. Peace!